Hello and welcome back to Copic in the craft room. Today I'm going to be coloring up some really fun images from a digital stamp artist that is new to me. I found her on Instagram and she sells her work on Etsy. The link is in the information below the video, and it will also be at the end of the video. So check her out, and she is really fun to follow on Instagram as well. So I'm going to be coloring up these fun little guys, and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to do 3 of them today, and then next week I'm going to turn them into some fun cards. So you'll have to come back and see the finished cards, but today we'll get the characters all colored up. I'm going to start with this little Frankenstein guy, and I've got a YG03 that I'm going to add to all of his skin area first. So this is that yellow-green. It's got a little bit of saturation to it. Got his hands and his face. YG63 is next. Now that saturation number got quite a bit higher, so I've got a lot more gray in this particular color. Adding some shading with this, and then YG67 is going to be for the shadows, the darkest areas of skin. YG03 to softly blend that back in. And YG03 as well. A little touch of YG67 on the nose, and then R21 on the cheeks, and a G20 on the eyes. I'm going to move down to his t-shirt, and I'm going with E81 and then E84. This is kind of has a mossy green feel to it, and I felt like it was just perfect for that t-shirt, kind of grungy looking. B95 is the denim on the jeans, and then a B97 is going to go into those wrinkles and folds. I appreciate this is super fast today, but I wanted to get 3 characters done, and I know you can slow this down if you need to. E43 is going to base that coat. E44, and then you're going to see E47 in a second. So hopefully by now you can see where that light source is. It's coming in from that upper left corner. So the things on the right hand side are tending to stay a little bit lighter. Remember, those arms are cylinders, so I'm shading them kind of like that, and the body is as well. I'm going down and I'm going to do the boots in the same 3 colors, E44, E43, and E47. I'm going back and blending, and this time I jumped all the way back to my lighter tone, that E43, to do my blending. A little more detail with the B97 on the jeans, touches of C3 and YG01 to finish him up. The next one I'm going to color is actually this little mummy. Really fast and easy. I'm really only using 2 colors in my colorless blender as well. E81 is what I'm starting with. This guy's got some light source coming in from that upper right hand instead. W3 is next, so you can see all the shadows are coming in from that left hand side. And to really give him some detail and character, I'm going underneath each strip of bandage. So like you can see that overlapping. And I'm softening it into white with that colorless blender. So back to E81. And the colorless blender softens it, so it just kind of fades right into white. A little more with that E43. And then R21 in colorless blender. W3, I'm going to add cast shadows under each strip of bandage. Just to add a little pop on this guy. But some of those deeper shadow areas, and then this cast shadow is being done with that W3. So again, pretty simple, very limited color palette, that R21, and a little bit of colorless blender on the cheeks again, just to create a real rosy look. Dracula is going to be my last one today, and he's going to have a black cape. But remember, when we're coloring something black, we want to do shades of gray so it doesn't turn into one big black blob. So this is C3, a cool gray that I'm starting with. That's going to be my lightest color. And then I'm going to come in with C5, and I'm thinking about those folds. Where would that highlight be? Kind of on the top edge of each fold. And then he's kind of a cylinder. He's a rounded cylinder, obviously a little soft around the middle. But so I'm gonna have that light source over on the left-hand side again. And so we have that strip that comes down that cylinder shape. C7 is next, using less of this color, real strategic in those fold areas, hopefully making it look like we've got kind of that gathered under that brooch. And I am going to use C9 this time. So I'm going to go into those darkest areas and add that C9, very small amounts and just a touch on that left-hand side. And then I'm going to start to smooth that out. So C7, I'm going to work back through all my colors. C5, so it's smoothing that out. C3, and you're going to see how this just kind of all blends together. So I've worked from the darker color onto the lighter color and smoothed that out. I'm going to pull that C5 a little bit further underneath his middle. I wanted to round him out a little bit more. And then I'm pushing back with my colorless blender. I wanted to add a little bit of brightness to those highlight areas on the folds and also on that kind of band that runs down that left side, and soften that with the C3 because it ended up leaving a little bit of a watermark. So blending those together a little more. The inside of his cape is going to be red. To me, this is very kind of almost cartoony, fun graphics. So going to get that bright red with R24, and now I'm working with R29. Notice with the R24, I did not fill all the way to the edges. I left white, and then I filled that with the R29, and then R59 is in those deepest areas. Did a tiny bit of blending with my R24, and that's it. The skin is going to be done with that V12, so a violet, little purple skin. Again, this reminds me almost of the Sesame Street kind of Count Dracula. R24 and R29 and R59 on the brooch. I'm going to start to add a little bit of shading on his face with V04. Rounded for sure, and then V06, so I'm shading it like I would a sphere or a ball. Softening that with V12, adding the nose with that V06, cheeks R21, and then adding more shading. I'm going in with the V04 and adding even more shading kind of around the face. I felt like it still was very flat. Now I'm going to finish this guy off by lightening up his fangs again with a little bit of colorless blender and then pushing that back in. I do this in small stages, just a little bit at a time. So this guy's just about done. I want to remind you that if you enjoyed this video to like it, and please make sure to follow our Copic in the Craft Room on YouTube channel. That way you're going to have our videos in your inbox each week as we have new content each week. Make sure also to join us over at our Facebook page, Copic in the Craft Room, for more Copic fun and inspiration. If you have any questions or comments, you are always welcome to leave them in the section below. I really do pay attention, and I'm here most days so I can answer questions. And if you have requests for new videos, we would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. Thank you for joining me this week. Have a happy, colorful week. Hope you're getting ready for Halloween as well.